Hello, Richmond County residents. Celeste Gotell coming to you with the November 1st to November 8th weekly calendar called What's Happening. It's a project that is being brought to you by the Senior Center Without Walls for Richmond County, which is kind of the new name that we have called ourselves as part of the services that we offer to Richmond County through Seniors Take Action Coalition of Richmond County. So let's begin on Saturday the 1st. Our first Christmas market of the season takes place in St. Peter's Lions Hall from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. on Saturday the 1st. And then the monthly music circle will happen at the Legion Branch 150 in Ayrshire. That gets underway at 2 p.m. It's free admission, and bring along your own instrument and play a few tunes with some fellow musicians. That evening, Tyrone and Wayne will be joined by Al Fazio and his son Nick at the Seal Cove restaurant in Lewsdale from 5 to 7 p.m. for a fundraiser. They're going to, all donations will be going to the Lewsdale Food Bank. Every weekend at the Discoos Civic Improvement Hall, you can drop in for the Richmond Artist Alliance Art Gallery. Now, that was taking place during the week in the summer, but it's now been shifted to weekends. It's open weekends from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. An opportunity to view some of the local art by some of the artists that are associated with that particular organization. Let's go to Sunday the 2nd. So Sunday the 2nd, the first of the monthly breakfasts taking place at Legion Branch 150 in Ayrshire. That gets underway at 8 a.m. and goes till 11 a.m. And then there's also breakfast that's happening at the Riverdale Community Center in Low River. That gets underway at 9 a.m. That afternoon at the Lewsdale Lions Club, the Angel Fund will be having a concert and songwriter circle. That gets underway at 2 o'clock and goes till 4 p.m. And there's going to be a number of local artists as well as other artists that will be featured, and including people like Isabella Sampson, Rose Morrison, and Danielle LeBlanc. The Amadam New Horizons Club will be having their regular monthly meeting. That gets underway in Ayrshire at 1:30 p.m. And then it'll be followed by a special resolution meeting that will go to vote around their new bylaws, and that's at 2:30 p.m. That afternoon at the Lordways Community Center, there's a cribbage tournament, and that gets underway at 1 p.m. Teams of two, $25. That evening, there's a variety concert at the Petit de Gras Hall, and that's from 7 to 9:30 p.m. It's $10 to get in, and it's featuring local entertainers. That evening at the Lewsdale Hall, there's also the regular CWL meeting for the St. Louis CWL group. That gets underway at 7 p.m. And then the weekly Amadam New Horizons Seniors Club Cribbage happens at 6 p.m. on Sunday the 2nd. That brings us to Monday the 3rd, the first Monday of every month. You can take part in a mass beginning at 9:30 a.m. at the Discoos Civic Improvement Hall, and that's followed by coffee and refreshments. Every Monday, there's line dancing drop-in that's happening at 10 a.m. till noon at the West Bay Community Center. Tuesday the 4th, the Jolly Club will have their sewing group, and that gets underway at 9 a.m. in Lordways. And then Arlene with Richmond Literacy has her digital wellness program offered in 2 locations on Tuesday. One is at the Lordways Jolly Club from 9 a.m. till 11:45, and that's in Lordways. Or you can find Arlene from 12:30 to 3:30 at the Richmond Literacy office in St. Peter's. Now, the digital wellness program is an opportunity for folks to get support with technology one-on-one with Arlene, and that's technology on your cell phone, your laptop, or your tablet. River Roots will have their farm stand from 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., and that's on Church Point Road in River Bourgeois. Of course, as things are winding down, their regular day will be Tuesday, but you'll always want to call ahead just to make sure that they still have produce available. There'll be a Pilates Wellness Circle that will be happening at the Royal Canadian Legion in Ayrshire from 10 a.m. till noon, and that's a drop-in. It's a sliding scale, minimum of $5, maximum of 10. And it's followed by a herbal tea and a little bit of a social, and that's with Sonia Morris. Bereaved Families Nova Scotia, in partnership with Seniors Take Action Coalition, will be offering a support and share session, and that will be from 1 to 2:30 p.m. located at the Almadam New Horizons Club in Ayrshire. There'll be another one at the Bonnie Bray Club in St. Peter's on December 3rd. It's facilitated by myself and Sonia Morris. And the purpose of this is anybody who's experienced some bereavement and grief and wants to just get together for a short period of time to have some folks to talk to ask some questions, and just to generally um, get a little bit of support and maybe a little bit of information. And it'll also give us a sense whether or not there's a need or an interest in having a longer living with grief program in on Almadam. There's currently one that's underway in Louisdale, and maybe in the new year there might be a sufficient interest to have one in Almadam. If possible, please call to register at 902-564-6795 so that we know how many people to expect. So that's 902-564-6795. Let's see what's happening else on Tuesday. So that afternoon, the Cafe Remnants will be happening at the Dr. Kingston Center in Lordways, and that goes from 1 to 2:30 p.m. And you can call Rachel to register at the Dr. Kingston Center. The Almadam New Horizons Club will have the regular Pay Me card game at 6:30 p.m. in Ayrshire. And then there's 2:45 card games that are happening each Tuesday, one at the St. George's Channel Hall at 7:30 and one at the Acadiaville Community Center Hall at 7:30 in West Ayrshire. That brings us to Wednesday the 5th. Every Wednesday morning at the St. George's Hall, there's a morning coffee that takes place from 10 a.m. till 12 noon. And for the first time, there's going to be a caregiver support group happening in Ayrshire at the Almadam New Horizons Club in Ayrshire, and that's from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, and it's with Caregivers Nova Scotia. And if you're interested in attending that, please call to register at 1-877-488-7390. So that's 1-877-488-7390, and it's a caregiver support group. It's a new program being brought to you. Digital Wellness, again with Arlene at the Richmond Literacy Office in St. Peter's from 12:30 to 3:30. And then that afternoon at the Anne Sampson Building in River Bourgeois, there'll be a comfort tea, and that takes place from 1:30 to 4 p.m. And it's sponsored by the Straight Richmond Palliative Care Society. And that's an opportunity, again, for folks who have experienced some bereavement and grief to come together in a supportive way. The Riverdale Seniors Club will have a get-together lunch in Low River from 12 noon to 2 p.m. That brings us to Thursday the 6th. West Bay Center has their regular coffee and conversation. That goes from 10 a.m. till 12 noon. And then once again, digital wellness program being offered by Arlene is available from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon at the Richmond County Municipal Office, and a brand new location at the Disco Civic Improvement Hall from 1 till 2:30 p.m. There's a walking group that is happening at least from the Dr. Kingston Center every week in Lordways. It gets underway at 11 a.m. and that's weather permitting. And that afternoon, or that morning actually, there's a seniors connecting program that's being offered at River Roots in River Bourgeois, and it's an applesauce making workshop, and registration is required. So if you're interested, you can call Rachel at the Dr. Kingston Center to register for that program. Every Thursday at 12 noon at the Pendegraw Library, there's something called Club de Conversation, and that's an opportunity for folks who want to practice their French, their conversational French. So that takes place every Thursday. There's also another new program getting underway in Discouse at the Civic Improvement Hall. Begins at 1 p.m. and it is a drop-in program, and it's a cross-stitch group. If you're on the other side of Richmond County, the Johnstown Sewing Handicraft Group meets at 1 p.m. Everyone's welcome to that, and that takes place at the Fire Department in Red Islands. Every Thursday, there's an adult drop-in program that goes on from 1 to 4 p.m., and that's at the St. Peter's Lions Hall. And then that evening, the Straight Area Women's Place is going to be offering a program called Creating Connections. It's an evening of crafting and connecting for women. It's going to be happening in Ayrshire at the Parish Hall, and it's going from 6:30 till 8 p.m. Registration is encouraged, and you can call the Strait Area Women's Center at 625-1614. The Almadam New Horizons Club will have their beanbag toss at 7 p.m. And then there's a 45 card game happening at the Discoos Civic Improvement Hall in Discoos, and that gets underway at 7:30. On to Friday the 7th. So there's a fiber club informal knitting and crocheting group that happens at the Petit de Gras Library every Friday. That goes from 2 to 4 p.m. And that evening, as part of the Historical Committee's initiatives for the Loosedale anniversary, there's something called the Tea, Tunes, and Tales. It gets underway at 6:30, and it's an evening with Frances McGrath Sampson, and you'll be hearing more about, I suspect, some of the historical aspects of being in Loosedale, and that is sponsored by the Historical Committee of the Fleur-de-Lis Seniors Club in Loosedale. That evening at La Picasse is a concert, Gilles Fougère. It gets underway at 7 p.m. and it's free for children age 5 and under. There's also a 2-day workshop that's happening with Josie Robinson from the Dr. Kingston Center. It goes from 3 to 6 p.m. It's called Find the Facts Workshop. And that's all about learning more about what's real and what's fake on the internet. So it's a 2-day workshop, and it's happening at the Petit de Gras Library. If you're interested in attending, you have to register with Josie Robinson at the Dr. Kingston Center. So that's happening on the 7th, Friday, and the 8th on Saturday. Finally, on Saturday, there's a 4th annual indoor yard sale, auction, and bake sale that will be happening at the Lordways Community Center, and that gets underway at 8 a.m. and goes till 2 p.m. There's going to be a holiday craft fair at the Almadam New Horizons Club in Ayrshire, and that goes from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then once again, the Richmond Artists Alliance Art Gallery in Discoos will be open for the weekend. It's open both Saturday and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. During the summer, it was open during the week, but now they've shifted to weekends. So if you want to check out some of the local artists, you can go to that exhibit every weekend from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So that's it for the week of November 1st to 8th. Want to extend our ongoing appreciation to Toledo Community Television for their wonderful partnership, and thanks to the municipality of the County of Richmond for their financial contribution, which can allow things like this to continue to happen for our organization. So until we meet again, I'll see you next week.